Plan Commission meeting of February 16 to order.
Okay. I'll do roll call. Chairperson Jim Sawtelle, Vice Chairperson Robert Momarts.
Here.
Commissioner Joanne Eaton.
Here.
Phyllis Harden here. Mark Lasis.
Here.
Jerry Malia.
Here.
Jason Reese.
Here.
Tom Ricker. Anthony Stewart.
Here.
Associate Planner Stephen Williams.
Here.
Okay.
And looking at the agenda, the next item would have been the appointment of chairperson and vice chairperson, but since one of the principals is not here, I thought it might be appropriate if we continued it to the next meeting.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I don't think we need to vote on that. We
You
can
just
do
table
that.
it.
Table, yeah.
The next thing is the approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review it?
Mhm.
If
Yes,
so, is
yes,
there
we
a
have.
motion?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, let's vote on it. All in favor? The agenda's been approved. Next item is public comment on the consent agenda or non-agenda items. We have nobody in attendance, so there will not be no public comment. So we can move to our own consent agenda, number 6, and that has to do with the minutes of the last meeting on January 28th. Does anybody have any comments they want to make about the minutes or something that needs to be modified?
Just somebody make a motion to approve.
I move to approve the minutes.
Seconded.
A motion to approve having been made and seconded, we can now vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Next item is number 7, review and comment on an easement vacation for Lot 1, Block 1 of Superior Town Center. Steve, did you have some comments you wanted to make or present in that?
I can just overline or give you a brief overview of the proposal.
Okay.
You guys, and if you have any questions, we can follow up. Phyllis, do you mind turning the light off so that could be seen a little easier? The town has entered into a sale and purchase agreement for Lot 1, Block 1 of the Superior Town Center, which is shown here. So in case everyone's not aware, this is Lot 1, Block 1. This is actually Lot 2, Block 1. The purchase and sale agreement is just for Lot 1. The town is going to retain Lot 2, and it is going to be used for parking for both Lot 1 and for the Superior Liquor Store. So as part of this vacation request, CenterPoint has asked that the town vacate a portion of the easement. The current easement runs kind of north-south here, and then it juts over to the west and then back to the south. The vacation concerns just this triangular area here, which is probably better shown on this other exhibit that they showed as part of their application. So it's just this 452 square foot area shown in this triangle, but this other map shows the entire property and kind of gives you the better context. There are no utilities that currently lie in this area, and this exhibit also shows the proposed utility for stormwater that the applicant will need to install in order to provide stormwater for their property. This line, or these lines, will be within the easement area and outside of the property here to the south. So they'll need separate agreements in order to address their use of both the town's easements and their use of the public right-of-way, which is Marshall Road to the south. Otherwise, the proposal is pretty straightforward. The maintenance of those proposed lines would be the responsibility of the developer and not the town. And approval of this vacation request will help to facilitate the proposed development, which is a 7,500 square foot retail building. And you guys will see a final development plan on that application probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But this property is also constrained, so that Lot 1, Block 1 extends to this north-south line on the east, but there's a 55-foot access easement, which would prevent this development from shifting any further to the east. So it's kind of constrained on this side, and it's obviously constrained on the western side by the existing easement. So vacating this triangular portion, which is not currently being used and shouldn't, and staff foresees no need for it in the future. I think that they thought that this line would extend further and then jut down to the south there's an existing stormwater main line that runs to this juncture right here, but it doesn't run into that easement area. So hopefully that's clear, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
So it's basically just to facilitate development.
Yeah, so it'll allow this building to eventually to shift. So this is that encroachment area. They're vacating this triangle, and then you can't build within an easement, so this little corner of the building would have to shift 10 feet to the east, which would prohibit or constrain their patio areas and their parking area. So that's why they're proposing to vacate it, and then they'd have room to put the building where they're proposing to put it.
Has it been announced what type of commercial property this is going to be?
It's gonna be retail. I don't know that any other announcement has actually formally been made yet, so. But there'll be a drive-through facility, as shown here on this plan. And there'll be a drive-through component on the southern part. So I think that the split that they show currently is 1,800 square feet of a traditional retail space, and then the rest of the development, which I think is 1,500 or 5,700 square feet, if I can do my math right, would all be kind of restaurant-related use.
So, and you said that the original easement, the reason that it jutted in was they thought about they thought that in future they might extend.
I think it was to allow for the,
stormwater.
you know, a certain buffer for this stormwater line,
Okay.
and it doesn't extend that far to the east. And the Public Works Department has, you know, reviewed this request and feels that their easement at this line would give them enough distance and separation to adequately access their lines. We're not so concerned about accessing the private utility lines. They'll have to enter into a separate agreement, but that's not their easement area for the right-of-way. They just have to have some sort of maintenance, probably an encroachment agreement to access those to use our, which is actually a Superior Metro District easement running north-south, and then this is right-of-way within Marshall.
Any other thoughts or comments?
The only other thought that I have would be more of a question. Would this, and it may be even too early to answer this, but would this development impact at all the road that you're able to access Superior Liquor and that strip of buildings there?
No, and that's, I mean, so that 55-foot access easement that is shown is existing, and there's no proposed change to that access easement. And the alignment to that is kind of set by the existing roadway, and I think everyone, you know, within Superior Plaza is pretty used to that alignment, and I think, you know, shifting that one way or the other probably would have been difficult. So rather than attempt to shift that easement, they've left it where it is, and they've worked within the constraints of the site to put this retail, you know, proposal where it's at. And that's why they're asking for it to shift a little, or this allowance in order for the building to shift a little further to the west.
Sure.
So,
I think along those lines, the only one concern would be, those are parking spaces on the east side of the buildings, correct?
yes,
Right
these
there.
are parking
Yeah,
spaces.
that's gonna be an interesting, you know, people backing out of there when people are coming in on that easement.
Yeah, there's been some talk about and that'll all get flushed out through the final development review process, but whether or not there's, you know, because of this drive-through too, you know, what signage needs to be installed in here to adequately control the flow of traffic in there. So
Yeah.
there's actually parking right now in this same area out there.
Is there?
I don't know how often it gets used, but this is designated. I had to go post a sign for this property or for this application last week, and there are parking spaces right here and I think it's for Superior Liquor right now, or at least that's what it's signed for. So.
Anything else? Somebody like to make a motion? Or do we need to present this verbatim?
Just the top paragraph. The resolution?
Yes?
Yeah, the very top, including the number.
Okay. Somebody wish to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Town of Superior Resolution Number PC-2, Series 2016, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the town of Superior recommending approval of the vacation of a portion of a utility easement on Lot 1, Block 1, Superior Town Center.
Motion having been made and seconded, let's vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item is staff announcements or whatever else we need to take care of.
The only thing I guess I'd want to mention and get out in front of is that we will have a planning commission, or we're scheduled to have a planning commission meeting. I think the next one's going to fall on March 1st. And it'll be to process a final development plan amendment for Rock Creek Village. And that's concerning that monument sign you guys saw, I think early in January, related to the signage and stuff for the Safeway complex. But it's actually going to be, the sign's going to be put on the community park final development plan parcel. So the final development amendment will concern the community park, but it will be to allow a sign that helps those tenants within the Rock Creek Village complex. So that's all I have as of now for that meeting, but things can change.
Anybody else got anything they want to bring up or discuss? Meeting is closed.
In 10 minutes.
Good job,
Great
Chair.
job.
Hey.
Yeah, well,
11 minutes, wow.
I do have one issue. We get